My informative speech is about social sustainability in urban areas, and also especially in those urban areas that are highly populated in a small area. Environmental and environmental sustainability and technological sustainability have really taken the spotlight in today's media, and how cities are able to progress and get bigger and still be sustainable. And since those two have really taken the spotlight, social sustainability has been kind of left in the dust, and nobody's really taken a look to that, especially in these big city areas where there's a lot of people really close together. And with a lot of people really close together, and especially there being a lot of different people, it really makes social sustainability really hard to manage in these big cities. There's three main ideas to keep in mind when thinking about social sustainability in these highly populated urban areas. And those would be social identity, social interaction, and also the huge contrast there is between the definition of being social in big cities and the suburban and rural areas. Social identity to me is how you want to portray yourself to the people around you, or being social. What we see, or what I tend to see in the city, is when you go there, people they just want to move forward. They want to be progressive, which is all fine, but if you start moving too fast, and this is especially spurred by such a quick advancement in technology, that it happens too fast and it's not sustainable, and pretty soon, by moving forward, you're not even looking back, you just keep pushing forward, and that just can't work out in the long run. By looking back, you can see a lot of the problems that lie ahead of you before they even happen, and that's a really big help. You're losing a lot of culture by not even looking back at past identity at all, and and a lot of just identity dies as you try to change and manipulate your social identity to be more progressive. Also, social interaction is a big thing that's going on in cities right now. Is if you walk down the sidewalk, you'll see tons and tons of people just stick their earbuds in and keep their head down, so that way they don't have to interact with anybody else, because it's less awkward and it's less work for them, and it keeps life simpler for them. Which, if you're me walking through a city and nobody says hi, or never seen you here before, what's your name? It's kind of annoying, if you ask me. Also, technology plays a big role in this interaction part of sustainability. When I can message somebody down the block in my city, and I can message them off my device, and I have 10 or 15 different methods of communicating with them on the same device. First of all, that's just a little bit ridiculous when they're just down the block. That's the whole point of being social, is going and talking to those people rather than just sitting there on your phone. And when you choose to use your device to do those, it kind of makes you seem more self-centered by not choosing to just go and talk to them, even though you may not choose to seem that way. Also, one big thing is the big contrast that we have between suburban and rural areas contrasting with the urban area. As the urban just keeps going more and more progressive, suburban and rural areas tend to stick with the past and what they know, and it works flawlessly, because that's sustainable. Going with what you know and keeping with what you know works. That'll help you preserve it for the future. In communities, they'll mow their lawns, and they'll keep up their road ditches, so passerbys know that that they have real big pride. Here's a quote from Bramley, and he says, "Outcomes relating to residential satisfaction, stability, neighborhood environment, and safety are all shown to be lower in higher density central places." So that says that just the sense of community is worse in those higher populated areas. And I believe when you choose to avoid looking at your past, which has been sustained for you by those past generations, and you choose to avoid that, and you keep moving forward, that just goes against the whole idea of social sustainability. So that's why we're seeing such a huge issue with being sustainable socially in those big cities. I think it would be good for them to communicate with each other and look back once in a while, and that'll help them out be more socially sustainable.